Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today on Thanksgiving. And I'm going to give a speech today on the new faces of homelessness. And I typically don't read from a script, but I didn't have time to prepare. Okay, so my purpose today is to persuade my audience to be more compassionate toward the homeless and to understand that not all homeless people are lazy criminals and or drug users. The rate of homelessness in America has increased tremendously over the past few years. Many people have lost their jobs, their homes, and their overall dignity. Could a homeless person standing on the corner with a sign stating they will work for food simply be lazy? Could a homeless person standing, I already said that. Do they choose this lifestyle or were they forced into it? Some people, including myself, tend to judge the character of homeless people based on the mere fact that they are homeless. But not knowing their whole story and how they became homeless is something I think we all need to take a better look at. America is said to be the wealthiest country in the world, yet many families are struggling to survive and are even 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless. Today I will discuss how many families and people in general who once thrived financially have become homeless, and I'll also discuss the importance of not judging them based on their circumstances. Although my family and I have never actually been homeless, we were recently in a position of having to rent a home to live in for 3.5 years. In addition to that, I work in an area of Joliet where homelessness is prominent, and it's been a real eye-opener to just how easily people can find themselves without a roof over their head. To take me through my findings today, first I'll discuss how the face of homelessness has changed. Second, I'll discuss how not all homeless people are lazy drug addicts and criminals. Third, I will discuss on what we can do to help. To begin with, let's take a look at how the face of homelessness has changed in recent years. Homeless people come from many different backgrounds and education levels. According to my cousin, Wendy Thompson, of the Tucson-Pima Collaboration to End Homelessness, many homeless people are actually over the age of 50. They have worked their whole lives and possibly lost their jobs. They've possibly been passed over for jobs for younger, lower-waged workers. And many companies get tax breaks for hiring immigrant workers and minorities, which leaves able-bodied, older workers jobless and eventually homeless. According to Susan Salney of the New York Times, thanks to the recession, more young adults are living on the streets. Tens of thousands of underemployed and jobless young people are struggling to house themselves. Many of these people have high levels of education, including master's degrees. The highest rate of unemployment among adults are between the ages of 18 and 24. Many of them can't move back home because their own families have been hit hard by the economy. Now let's take a look at how not all homeless people are drug addicts and criminals. Many of the homeless in our community might be your own neighbors. According to David Berriman of the Times Standard, there are many categories of homeless people. The first category are those who became homeless through no choice of their own because maybe they lost a job or were affected by a natural disaster such as a tornado. There are the hobo types that don't want to work because they are happy being free. There are the mentally ill because they have no adequate funding for help and they're living on the streets. And then there's the criminal class. Those are the ones that we want to stay away from. The con men, those are the ones that are typically out on the streets and they commit crimes for drugs. According to Wendy Thompson, 80% of people that are homeless are not actually criminals or lazy at all. Many became addicts after hitting rock bottom, and they began self-medicating after they became homeless. Now, what can we do to help? There are many small ways that we can all help. First, we shouldn't stereotype. We should be cautious of who we approach that might be homeless, but we shouldn't judge them. We should put ourselves in their shoes for a moment and realize that we don't know what their story is. We should extend ourselves. Don't necessarily give them money, but you could donate to local shelters. And you can also let them know if you're aware of any programs available, such as work readiness, Dress for Success, and educational programs. I hope this information will help you all look at a homeless person differently. So first of all, I talked about the new faces of the homeless. Second, I talked about how easy it is to judge the homeless. And then third, I talked about ways that we can help. Aside from something horrible happening to one of my family members, being homeless is one of my biggest fears. Fortunately, I am financially secure. However, I realize how quickly my security can vanish. I hope we will all take this day, Thanksgiving Day, to reflect on our blessings and never take our homes for granted. Thank you.
Thank you.